Headlines scream, pundits warn, and dinner table conversations inevitably turn to it. Is America on the brink? We hear a lot about an impending collapse, about a future crisis just around the corner. But what if the collapse isn't some distant, hypothetical event? What if, right now, as we speak, the very foundations of the United States are giving away? Today we're not talking about if it will happen, but why it's happening now. This isn't about fear-mongering, it's about facing uncomfortable truths and understanding the forces at play. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Scott, and for years we've analyzed the shifting sands of global power, economics, and social dynamics. Today's topic is perhaps the most critical we've ever covered. We'll explore 5 key areas that suggest the United States isn't just flirting with collapse, but it is actively in the process of a significant, multifaceted decline. Let's start with the bedrock of any nation, its economy. For decades, the American dream was built on upward mobility, on the idea that hard work would secure a better future. But that dream is increasingly out of reach for millions. We're witnessing an unprecedented wealth disparity. The top 1% now holds more wealth than the bottom 90%. This isn't just statistics, it's a lived reality of struggle for most Americans. Wages have stagnated for decades, while the cost of living, housing, healthcare, education, all of it has skyrocketed. We're seeing a burgeoning gig economy that offers little stability and a national debt that continues to balloon, seemingly without consequence. This isn't just a slowdown, it's a systemic hollowing out of the middle class, creating a deeply fractured economic landscape that breeds resentment and instability. Now let's turn to the political arena. Remember when compromise was a dirty word, but still a necessary evil? Now compromise seems like a foreign concept. Our political system is suffering from extreme polarization. The 2 major parties are locked in a perpetual battle, often prioritizing ideological purity and partisan victory over effective governance. This isn't just a healthy debate. It's a tribalism that prevents any meaningful action on critical issues, from climate change to infrastructure, immigration to healthcare. The result, gridlock and stagnation. A government that increasingly fails to address the real problems faced by its citizens. The erosion of political functionality isn't just frustrating, it undermines faith in democratic institutions themselves. Beyond economics and politics, there's a more insidious decay at play: the erosion of social cohesion and trust. Where once communities were built on shared experiences and mutual respect, we now see increasing fragmentation. The social media, while connecting us globally, has also created echo chambers and amplified divisions. Trust in institutions like the media, government, and even science is at an all-time low. When people no longer trust the information they receive, or people in power, the bonds that hold a society together begin to fray. This isn't just about different opinions, it's about a fundamental breakdown in our ability to collectively define reality, to find common ground, and to work together for a shared future. The idea of a United States is becoming harder to reconcile with the reality on the ground. Now, let's get physical. Look around you. How many times have you driven over a pothole that should have been fixed years ago? The United States, once a global leader in infrastructure, is now lagging behind. Our roads, bridges, public transportation, water systems, and even our energy grids are aging and failing. This isn't just an inconvenience, it's a direct impediment to economic growth, public safety, and quality of life. Simultaneously, our public services, from education to healthcare, mental health support to emergency response, are under immense strain, often underfunded and overwhelmed. Look at, the VA. The neglect of these fundamental building blocks of society indicates a deeper problem, a declining capacity to invest in our own future, a sign that the very systems that support daily life are struggling to keep pace or simply collapsing under their own weight. Finally, let's zoom out to the global stage. For decades, the United States was the undisputed superpower, the leader of the free world. But that era is undeniably fading. We're seeing a multipolar world emerge, while rising powers like China challenging American dominance in technology, economics, and military might. America's moral authority has been questioned, its diplomatic efforts often met with skepticism, and its alliances sometimes strained. This isn't about blaming any one administration, it's a long-term trend. As internal divisions deepen and resources are stretched thin, America's capacity to project power, influence events, and even inspire other nations diminishes. This isn't just a loss of prestige, it's a practical decline in the ability to shape global outcomes, leaving a vacuum that other potential, less benevolent actors are eager to fill. The world isn't waiting for America to fix its own issues, it's moving on, and America's relative position is shrinking. So why do these 5 reasons suggest a collapse happening now, rather than just a slow decline? Because these aren't isolated issues, they are interconnected, creating a vicious cycle. Economic inequality fuels political resentment. Political polarization prevents solutions to infrastructure decay. Eroding trust makes it harder to address any problem. And as these internal cracks widen, America's global standing weakens, further reducing its capacity to rebound. We're not talking about a sudden, cataclysmic event, but a gradual, yet accelerating unraveling. It's like a building when the foundation is crumbling, the walls are cracking, and the roof is leaking. Each problem exacerbating the others until the whole structure becomes unstable. The warning signs have been there for years, but now the cumulative effect is becoming undeniable. The pace of decline feels different. It feels urgent. Now, it's crucial to understand what collapse truly means in this context. We're not talking about a Hollywood apocalypse, like a Mad Max scenario overnight. Societal collapse is rarely a sudden, dramatic event. Instead, it's often a process of degradation, a steady decline in living standards, a loss of trust in institutions, increased social unrest, a reduction in public services, and a diminishing capacity for collective action. It looks like a country where life gets harder for more people, where opportunities shrink, where basic needs become luxuries, and where the promise of a better future fades. It's a slow burn, a gradual erosion of the things we once took for granted. It looks like the challenges we are already seeing today, but intensified and without clear paths to resolution. It's the normalization of decay. So, where does this leave us? This isn't a message of despair, but a call to critical awareness. Recognizing these uncomfortable truths is the first step towards understanding what's truly happening. We can't fix what we refuse to acknowledge. The United States is not a monolith, and its future is not predetermined. But ignoring the signs of decline, pretending that these issues are merely temporary bumps in the road, would be a profound mistake. The question isn't whether America will collapse, but how far the current processes of collapse will go, and what choices we as citizens will make in response to these undeniable realities. The time for passive observation is over. The time for honest assessment, difficult conversations, and potentially radical rethinking is now. What are your thoughts on these 5 reasons? Do you agree, or do you see different forces at play? Share your perspective in the comments below. If you found this discussion valuable, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our future deep dives into critical global issues that affect us as farmers, homesteaders, preppers, and much more. And until next time, stay informed, stay critical, and keep thinking.